Hey everyone, welcome to this first installment that was requested by the second graders, but lots of people might look at it. It's kind of a virtual church tour, and this is primarily, once again, as they prepare for their first communion, but really anybody could benefit from it, so I'm going to see how we can make this work. So we're here at the Sacred Heart Chapel of St. Vincent de Paul Catholic Parish in Pettis County, and my name is Father Dave. And so especially to all our second graders, hi, we miss you guys, and we're so excited for when we can reschedule your first communion at a time when all of us can come back together in Mass again. As I like to say, you guys have probably seen me, but I haven't had a chance to see you as we've been live streaming Masses. I hope you've been able to watch those and participate in your homes. So this is the first part of it is the parts of the church, so things that are static, and I'm going to turn it around now so you can actually see those things and you'll just be able to hear me talk, okay? So as we begin at the entrance to the church, one of the things we almost always have is a gift table, and there's our gift table. The gifts, as we refer to them, which we use at the celebration of the Eucharist or at Mass, we would often put the bread and the wine on that table for representatives of the community to bring forward as they, in the middle of the preparation of gifts at Mass. So as we look at the church, the main part of the church, which is the part mostly almost always where the people are sitting, is known as the nave, N-A-V-E, okay? And so that can be all different shapes and sizes. Many churches have both stained glass windows and the Stations of the Cross, and we're going to look at a couple of our stations real closely here. Let's go ahead and do number 8, Jesus Consoles the Women. So you can see these are painted prints. I haven't had a chance to look at them real closely yet. But in the church, both Stations of the Cross and ultimately stained glass windows were meant to provide beauty, but also have symbols and teach parts of our faith. And so all of the artwork in it is meant to draw us into the divine, into God, but also potentially to teach us something. And here later I'll look at some of the paintings that we have in the church that teach us something. And so every stained glass is a little bit different, of course. As we enter into the church then, we come to the part that is often called the sanctuary or the presbyterium. And almost always, it's not really perfectly defined, but almost always the sanctuary begins here where we see the stairs. And so this portion would be the nave of the church, and the portion above the stairs would be referred to as the sanctuary, all right? And so as we come forward then, one of the things we always do is to genuflect where the Blessed Sacrament is. So I'll come up to that point here in a moment, but there's the tabernacle there. In every church there is meant to be a crucifix. So of course we have our very large crucifix there as the backdrop of the altar. The difference between a crucifix and a cross is that a crucifix has the body of Jesus upon it. So during the Easter season, and certainly during the Lenten season, very often churches will actually put up a cross. So here we have an example of just a cross that reminds us then always of the crucifix with Jesus' body on it. As we come in then to the sanctuary, there are a number of important elements. So the altar, which we can see here, right, where Mass is celebrated, where the Eucharist is celebrated. We have the ambo, A-M-B-O, and that's where the reading is proclaimed from. All right, and those can be on either side, and it can be all different shapes and sizes. The baptismal font is often at the entrance to the church. In this case, it's in the sanctuary. We'll talk about that more later. The presider's chair, the presider is the priest who is celebrating Mass primarily. There may be other priests present, and so that's the chair that the presider would sit upon. Within then the sanctuary, of course, we also have the tabernacle. The tabernacle is where we keep the Blessed Sacrament, where Jesus' body and blood, soul and divinity is present, where we keep him under the form of the host to adore for prayer, and also so that we can take communion to the sick. Near it, there should always be what they call a sanctuary lamp or a sanctuary light, or an oil lamp. And so in this case, ours is right here, right now, with a real candle. There is a possibility that to have it somewhere just near the tabernacle, the church says. So for instance, in our church, we have a beautiful hanging one here that we will begin using a real candle in soon. And so that's, it can be somewhat near it. So when you enter a church, you are looking for where, if I can't find the tabernacle, for whatever reason, you're going to be looking for a candle much like that, and it will be somewhat near where the tabernacle is. So those are some of the things in a church that we would find. And until our next segment, we'll see you soon, and stay safe.